You can support this show at patreon.com/ASAPodcasting. Welcome to a Skyrim Addict podcast, where I will discuss my adventures and misadventures through Skyrim. Join me. Add your stories, add your tales. Let's get into this thing. Welcome back to Skyrim Addict podcast 144. Oddly being recorded like 20 minutes after 143, but we won't talk about that. So I'm here with Victor.
Hey, how you doing?
And we're going to get into some Skyrim talk after I did some Oblivion talk and nearly lost my voice because the heater blowing in my face the entire time.
Ow.
Started getting like, you know, when you get that heat blowing in your face and your throat dries out super quick.
Yeah. Ick.
And I forgot to have a drink.
Across the room right now, so I'm okay with that.
Yeah, and we have another nor'easter coming, so that's all good.
So you're getting all ready to plow. I'm getting ready to have a code red. So
yeah,
I'll probably be home all day Wednesday.
I lucked out of the last one because it rained where I was at. So.
Oh yeah, no, I don't think that's going to happen this time. They're saying almost a foot of snow up here.
Oh.
And well, I'm only about 100 miles north of you, something like that. So
yeah, about that. Yeah,
you'll probably get a few inches down there too.
Fingers crossed. See what happens.
So yeah, Skyrim. Oh, there it is. Okay. So one thing I guess we were like we were talking about just before we started this. There's another podcast going on even as we speak.
Yeah, actually.
Yeah, the Characters Crusade guys are doing their first sort of. They did an intro episode a few weeks ago, and tonight is their first real episode of what they've been calling Skyrim Unbound, which is a little bit like, pardon me, it's a little bit like what we've done with Roundtable in the past, and a little bit like what I've done with Skyrim Fits and Starts on my YouTube channel, but in this case, it's just centered around the mod Skyrim Unbound, which is another random start mod. It's like Alt Start, but it's very different in many ways. It's the mod I used when I did my Companions quest with Malachi Stentor.
Oh, okay.
I used it so that he could be a follower of the Way of the Voice without being a Dragonborn. So it offers you that option. And the Unbound thing on Character Crusade is basically a completely random start, except that it's random for race. Their suggestion was to roll a D10, so of course I had to do that. If you have a D10. And then just set everything to random in the mod, and then load any other mods you want, but just let the mod load and see where it takes you, which is sort of what I did with Fits and Starts, where it's just take the random start and just go for it. So I've been playing along with that too, and that's been fun. They have a really good anybody who's listening to this who doesn't know Character Crusade, they've Michael's been on their show, and they're good guys, and they're definitely worth checking out and supporting. They do some really amazing role play stuff.
Oh, they definitely do. Very in depth with that kind of thing.
Yeah. And then that's the whole point of this particular series, is just to sort of explore what people do and then talk about it and answer questions and maybe make suggestions about people's characters and stuff and how they can. So it's a lot of fun. It's a good way to sort of learn how to role play better, I guess. It's one way of putting it. So I rolled on my D10. I rolled a 7, a 6, and a 9, and so I decided to average them out, and it comes out to 7.333. So I decided it was a Khajiit with a little bit of Nord leanings, because Nord is 8 if you take them in sequence, as Bethesda lists them, or alphabetically or whatever. So that's been fun, and of course it's a heavily modded game. But
would expect nothing less.
Yeah, of course. I think this one it's similar to the one I've been live streaming. It's got about the same amount of plugins, but it's a different loadout. I've put Legacy of the Dragonborn in because I plan on carrying this character through even beyond this Unbound thing, which is only supposed to go, I don't know, 6 or 8 episodes.
Okay.
But I want to really carry this one through. He's good. He's another incarnation of my Khajiit character that I've done before, named Harold Steelclaw. So, but this time I actually have a backstory. So, just a little self promotion. If anybody wants to go check it out, it's on my website, which is theopen.world /Skyrim. That's where my Harold Steelclaw sort of backstory and some explanation is, and then you can go to Character Crusade and check out their stuff on YouTube.
It's Couch Warrior TV, I think.
Couch Warrior TV on YouTube and charactercrusade.com on the web. They have a website, I believe. Yeah.
And if you search their podcast, is Character Crusade.
Yes. So
the audio version.
Right. Yep. They don't do a whole lot of that anymore. They've been
not as much. Yeah.
But I think this one's going to be up on their podcast. They do Patreon as well. So.
Most of their stuff is video content. They're much stronger at that. Like that's their focus. And kind of always has been. I think they started the podcast after they were doing video for quite a while.
Yeah, he had a YouTube channel first, and then they started doing the podcast, and then. But he's had some really long and in-depth series. But enough about them. This is a Skyrim Addict, not a Couch Warrior.
we were not paid to promote
That's
that.
Right.
We just like supporting others in the community. So
exactly. So, so you haven't been playing a lot of Skyrim, have you?
No, because I had to. I had the whole issue that I spoke about on the last episode with my character in Oblivion contracting vampirism. And since we're going into Shivering Isles, I needed to rectify that. And I figured, like, I let him go all the way and get, the 3 days and you're, a full vampire and all that. So I was like, oh, because I don't think I ever did the Cure Vampirism quest way back. Or I may have, but I don't recall it. So I was like, let me go through it. And it was way more extensive than I remembered, and I really, really enjoyed it. So I was glad I did that. And I also wanted to finish up all the guild quests before I went over to Shivering Isles because I wanted to just have a refresher for when we do those, like in the fall. So we weren't like breaking up quests in weird points. So I at least played it at some time in the recent history and had some kind of knowledge of it. So I got all that done. I'm all locked in now and ready to go to Shivering Isles. I just finished up that stuff today, and so now I can put Oblivion down for a week or so, and then we start Shivering Isles on the 18th.
So how much more? And by the way, Sean just said he's getting settled in. So
okay, cool.
How much more complex is curing it in Oblivion than it is for just visiting Phalion?
Vastly more. Yeah. There are easier ways to do it. There was an add-on, a Vampire Lair add-on where you could just like drink from a font and you were cured. But the quest line for curing it is 10 times longer than.
Wow.
Like, I think you just needed, a Black Soul Gem with Phalion, essentially, and, like, came back a day later or something like that.
I think so, something like that. Yeah,
pretty basic.
You have to go and chat him up and find out.
Yeah.
You have to listen to his stupid little speech there, and then he's another was it Stephen Russell character?
Yes.
Nick Valentine, Bellathor, Valeria. He's like 16 different characters.
No, it's way more involved than that because like one of the counts is a vampire and his wife, and it's kind of tied in with that. And the potion itself, it requires at least like 6 or 7 different ingredients, one of which is a quest to get vampire ashes from a very specific vampire. That you have to find the tomb and kill all the vampires in there, et cetera, et cetera.
Right,
so it's much, much more involved, and there's an actual storyline that goes along with it, with the count from Skingrad. So while the vampires are way better in Skyrim because there's like there's Dawnguard, there's a whole story. You can actually play a vampire. Wasn't particularly my thing, but you could at least do it. Whereas Oblivion, the cure is really the main thing.
Oh.
And there really isn't much you can do as a vampire. You don't have like clans of vampires or anything like that. So,
Okay.
you get your attributes and stuff like that, but nothing like the perk tree, obviously. So
I never got that far in Oblivion. However, I think that Sean did, and
did he hop on?
for everybody who hasn't met him yet, we have a new participant. His mic is muted right now, but maybe he's listening. There he is.
It should be working.
Yeah, you sound pretty good. This is Sean, who I happen to know quite well. I've known him for a very long time because we're related. And he's a longtime gamer and a very good one too. So welcome to the podcast, Sean.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Spent about 2,000 hours in Oblivion.
Yeah. So you've done the Vampire Cure quest too?
Yes. Oh yes.
Yeah, it's way deeper than that Skyrim one for sure.
Well, and there was really, like you said, there wasn't much to being a vampire in Oblivion. Mostly it was stay out of the light.
Oh, yeah. Part. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that was the thing. If you didn't feed, like, don't even go outside because you're going to die quickly. I died a couple times accidentally. But if you fed regularly, it kind of mitigated that sun damage. But if you didn't, oh, man, it would burn you up fast, depending. And it would also, I think the rain and things like that would also mitigate it some at dusk and dawn.
Yeah.
But in the middle of the day, it's a lot of damage. It's a lot of damage.
So it sounds like they were steering you more towards wanting the cure than they do in Skyrim, where you can join the factions.
For sure, yeah.
Actually, sort of rule the world if you want to. Yeah.
Yeah, because there is in the Dark Brotherhood, you can choose to become a vampire. But I don't really know how effective it would be playing the game that way in long term,
Not very. The need to feed really overwhelmed everything. So I tried to play as a vampire for a while, and I found it just too much of a hazard to constantly have to feed or else die in the sun. At least in Oblivion. In Skyrim, it's a whole different story.
Yeah, because if you didn't feed like every night or day, whatever, you would start taking damage.
So you couldn't wear cloaks and hide in the shadows during the day? No, yeah.
Like you could, like if it was raining, it was less. If you were underwater, it was less. Closer to the midday was always worse. Yeah. But well,
it's a much older game engine. I guess there's probably not even that much. Yeah. So
the feeding was really the big thing. If you didn't feed, you really paid a price quickly. And when you're hopping around doing the cure quest, I mean, you're doing a lot of different stuff. Like if you don't have the ingredients, you got to run around to whatever, look for it, or go to shops or whatever. So you're outside, and you're forgetting it's a whole day has gone by. Or if you did like I did and forget and make the mistake of waiting, I was like, oh, I'm gonna wait for the shop to open because it was like 4 a.m. So I waited like 5 hours. Well, I woke up dead from waiting because I was standing outside. And at that, like, you can't fast travel into death, but you can wait into death, which is odd.
Huh. Okay.
So, like, if you were fast traveling, I think it would, like, kick you out of it or something. Or, no, it wouldn't harm you when you got there or something like that.
Oh,
but if you were just waiting in a place, like, say you started in the middle of the night to the midday, you would just, when it stopped waiting, you would just fall over, which happened once or twice. But.
Well, for Skyrim stuff, I did want to bring up just 2 new mods that I've been playing with, and I'm trying to. I haven't played with them a whole lot. They're relatively. One of them is pretty new, and the other one's been around for a while, and I never tried it. So I thought I'd give it a shot, but I don't know how well it's going to work. The first one is called. It is called 3PCO. So it's a third-person camera overhaul, and it actually it makes the camera work a little bit more like a a new generation game when you're playing in third person. So
Okay.
so you're not always locked into the being directly behind, especially in combat. And it seems to work pretty smoothly. I haven't had any problems with it. I don't play in third person a lot, but I know a lot of people in the group do, and so it's if you're gaming on PC, I don't think it's available for Xbox because it requires SKSE. So does this other one. So sorry, console peasants, you're just SOL on this. But it has the third person camera overhaul has an MCM menu, so you can set various traits and things the way the camera works, and it seems to work pretty darn smoothly. I'm kind of impressed with it. And here comes some Spriggans. Let's see. I'm going to die immediately, but I want to see how things change. So it's a little bit. So you can rotate around a little bit better.
Okay.
As you're fighting, you're not sort of stuck on that. That centering pin, as it were.
Yeah.
So as you're fighting, it seems pretty good. So that's pretty cool. And the other mod that's new to me is called Skyrim Souls. And the only reason it's called that is because it's got how would you put it? Sort of like Fallout, when you open up the inventory menu and things keep happening around you.
Yeah.
Whereas in vanilla Skyrim, it
pauses,
basically locks everything so that you can drink 50 potions in the middle of a battle.
Yeah.
Right. So this takes some of that away, which actually is kind of cool. It does have a few compatibility issues. I'm actually just trying it out right now to see what happens. Yes, and so I'm being attacked by a spider. I have my inventory open, trying to drink a potion. It slows time down slightly, so you still have time to actually drink a potion if you want, but it doesn't stop time. So that's actually kind of cool.
That's pretty good.
I like that idea. So I'm about to die. But anyway, I wanted to bring those up. They're you can't hear that in the background, can you? No, you can't.
Oh no, I can't hear it at all. No.
Yeah, okay. But I have a fairly powerful character, so he's taking a lot of hits. From
a lot of damage.
Yeah, not doing. It's not doing a whole lot of damage to him, but. So I know, Sean, you haven't been playing a lot of Skyrim lately, have you?
Not really. I've been fairly addicted to World of Warcraft again, to my everlasting shame.
That's okay. We'll get to that in a few minutes, because we're going to go into a game talk soon for everybody who's listening to this as a Skyrim addict. In a few minutes, we're gonna shift over.
Yes, we're going to be doing a game talk for Jeremy, so you have to go over to ASA Game Talk and get that one.
Yeah. So I'm going to quit out of Skyrim here. Let's see. We talked about Unbound, and is there anything else you want to, because are you going to just sort of put this together with your Oblivion one that you just did?
Actually, I already put that out.
Oh, okay.
So I'll just do it at the end of the week. Wait till later in the week. So
yeah. I mean, I didn't have a whole lot. I have been, of course, playing a lot of Skyrim, mostly with that Unbound character, trying to level that up, and doing some live streams, practicing with. I could talk about that a little bit. Just I don't want to run this on too long, but I've been playing with that mod Spell Research, which is really cool mod, and along with Legends of the Dragonborn, which really makes Skyrim something that you would want to go back to, because it's as extensive as interesting NPCs. It just sort of it just goes on and on and on and on. And it's an amazing mod. I can't say enough good things about it. So that's, and I believe there's an SE version now.
Okay.
And I don't think there'll be a console version because it's just so big.
Yeah, that's
massive.
massive. I don't know how you would. Yeah.
Yes, 2.5 gigs, just the mod by itself. Plus, because it incorporates a lot of older mods like Moonpath to Elsewhere and stuff, so they're all built into it already.
Oh wow!
And plus, it supports a whole bunch of quest mods like Foulscar and Worm's Tooth and Vigilant, and so if anybody out there still has Worm's Tooth,
did that ever? That never came back on, did it?
No, never did. He talked about it a little bit, I think, but he just real life got in the way, and he took it off the Nexus. But it's still out there.
Gosh,
I still have
so good.
a copy of it. Yeah, I have it backed up onto a drive. So and I think there are still people actively making patches for it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So if you have it and you're running it, you can still patch it or whatever you need to do.
Exactly. Like for shout mods like Thunderchild and stuff, there's an active, actively updated patch for it and stuff like that. So because Worm's Tooth, of course, if anybody doesn't know, it's about dragons, and it's sort of an extension. It actually does include some of its own extra new shouts and things. So it's well worth seeking out if you know somebody who has it and can give it to you on a thumb drive or something. I almost said a floppy disk.
That would be impressive.
Yeah. Sorry. On 50 floppy disks.
A series of.
No, actually, probably more like 100.
Oh God, yeah, probably, yeah. Because I mean, at the end, like the Sierra games were coming on like 15 of them, I think.
Oh yeah.
Load disk 7. Load disk 8.
Yeah, I still remember those giant 2.88 megabyte floppy disks.
Oh,
they were amazing. But anyway, so spell research is a new way to learn magic, and it's quite complex and extensive. It's very similar to other sort of crafting overhaul mods. It includes a module to learn new magic via alchemy and a module to learn new magic via research, reading old ancient tomes and translating them, and it also by collecting archaeological relics and melting them down in a cauldron. And it's really, really cool. And it doesn't mean that you can't use magic from the start, but and learn spells from books. But what it does is it adds skill points to each school of magic, and also creates a mechanism via the 4 major elements: earth, air, fire, and water, to learn things about those schools of magic that include those elements. So it's a really cool mod. So I would recommend it to anybody. It takes a while to really figure it out. If you've watched any of my live streams, my more recent live streams, I've been playing with a little bit on those, so you can see some of how it works. But anybody who's into sort of complex modding, highly recommend it. Spell research, it's really good. So
yeah, it seems like a really good expansion of magic.
Oh, it's awesome.
Yeah,
it really is. And it makes it, it takes time. You really got to keep at it. You have to, if you want to translate these ancient texts, you find them all around the world. They're in the level list. So you'll find stuff in chests and stuff, just like Legacy of the Dragonborn does the same thing. It makes, if you're a loot addict, like I think a lot of us are who play games like this, whether it's World of Warcraft or anything. I mean, you're always collecting shit,
Yeah.
And Legend of the Dragonborn makes every single little nook and cranny in the world of Skyrim worth checking out. You've got to look in every freaking urn. You have to look in every
thing.
chest because there's going to be something. There's a painting or a card or a relic of some kind, and there's new archaeological sites. I think there's like 15 of them scattered around the world, and there's a whole Explorers Guild segment of Legacy of the Dragonborn that's built into the mod that you develop over time. I mean, it's insane. It's an amazing piece of work.
Oh, that's awesome.
So between the two of these mods, you have to look under every log, every blade of grass. So it's it can actually feel almost tedious at times. You play short sessions and enjoy them and move on. But
but it adds a whole much greater aspect to the game.
Yeah, a whole new dimension.
It is amazing how much that stuff adds to it. It just keeps the playability at such a high level.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think I mentioned on last episode, I was like, maybe we'll get an announcement at E3.
No, I don't think so. What do you think, Sean? I mean, is there any possibility of Elder Scrolls coming this year or an announcement?
I don't know. The way they did Fallout 4 makes me very suspicious of anything because they just, by the way, Elder Scrolls is next week. See you guys later.
Yeah.
Kind of what I expect.
Yeah, exactly. They don't, it's like, here we have it. We're dropping it. Goodbye.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the old Steve Jobs thing. Oh, and one more thing.
Yeah. One more thing. Oh, here's everything. Goodbye.
Here's the iPhone. Yeah. Well, I don't know. If Todd Howard fancies himself a Steve Jobs kind of character, maybe that'll happen.
There you go.
I think they're gonna. I think they're going to announce a new sort of sandbox space game.
That's what it sounds like. So.
Something that'll make No Man's Sky look like the sad relic that it is and has become.
I have to get back in it. I know there was a lot added to it, but I don't know how.
Here's the problem with the additions to No Man's Sky. When they made the changes for the most recent update, they erased a lot of the progress that people had made. So people like me who sunk a lot of hours into it, we lost a lot of that.
Oh, no. That's bad. That's a bad way to update.
So in other words, you'd have to go back and spend another, 6 or 7 hours just mining all of that, all those minerals and everything else, which was fun for a little while and then became incredibly tedious.
Well, and it wasn't even that. It was there were quest lines that you had to do to unlock new things in your base. All those quest lines got reset, and that was just tedious hours. Go here, do this, and then have to come back and do it again. And I got like 2 hours into it, and I just said, you know what? Nope, not doing it again.
Yeah, not worth it. But I mean, I remember you saying that at least initially it felt like the additions were good additions.
They were, and they really fleshed out the whole Atlas side of things. The base building was a lot of fun. The vehicles were really cool. I mean, they did a lot of good work to it, and then they've gone silent again for a long time. They released updates every couple months, kept in touch, and now they've gone silent again for the last 6-7 months now.
Oh, jeez.
Well, maybe. I mean, I'm sure the game is on deep discount sales. So if there's anybody out there who
if you're hopping in now,
now maybe now's the time to sort of hop in and check it out because it does have more to it. But if you spent a lot of time like I did, I think I spent probably 60 or 70 hours in the first edition of the game. Yeah, I'm not going to go back and redo all that stuff. That's just not enough. There's not enough meat there to make that worthwhile. I mean, I did enjoy what I played of it when I did.
I did too. But
but you know what? That's a subject for Game Talk.
Yes. So we'll wrap up Skyrim Addict here. And if you want to check out Game Talk, go to ASA Game Talk on iTunes or whatever it's called now, Apple Podcasts or whatever. Whatever they call it now. But it's been Skyrim Addict. Next episode's probably the Shivering Isles Roundtable.
Oh, yeah.
At the beginning of that. So
and also for Patreon subscribers, we will be recording the next episode
of 10 AD
10 AD this weekend, and I will be joining the crew. So stay tuned.
Yeah, I think episode 2 is floating around somewhere. I have to put that out too. So that'll be coming up too. Skyrim 10 AD will be coming out episode 2 at some point this month.
And for anybody who doesn't know what that is, Skyrim 10AD is Colin's creation, one of our members, who has created a version of Skyrim in the 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons mold that takes place 10 years after the events of the game. So, and he's done an amazing job of it. So.
And you can hear Colin do a Michael Rooker impersonation.
That's right. Yes. That's awesome.
Which was quite interesting. So
yeah.
So that's what will be coming up, and also the Fallout Roundtable is starting, and we have that Fallout Mod Talk that will be coming out this. Well, it already came out when you hear this, but
yeah. And I sent a text file to Andrew that he will probably post on the website, which is some of the links to, at least the Nexus links anyway, to the mods that we talked about, and then anybody can follow those links and see if they're available on Xbox as well.
Excellent.
I just didn't feel like going through all of that effort to find all the links to all the different sources, so I just included Nexus links.
So that's the bobblehead roundtable for Fallout 4, and did a nice extensive mod talk on that. And that'll be over on the Fallout feed. And I think that's it. All right.
Yeah.
Let me switch my GarageBand file, and we'll get into game talk.
All right.